Hello and welcome back to the 6th episode of the Talking League podcast. I'm Shane Campbell, and alongside me we've got Ashton Lima and Jared Buckle. How are we doing, gents?
Always fantastic. Had a lucky weekend, got sunburnt like you cannot believe, but nursing on the recovery, well worth it.
Awesome stuff. Tonight, guys, we have a special guest in studio with us. Please put your hands together for Connor McCracken.
Jazza, Coach, Ashley, how you boys?
All right, thanks, and you, Con. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a great honor.
Fantastic, man. Guys, before we jump straight into our show, we'd like to give our sponsor 197 Engineering a massive shout out. To contact them and find out how they best can help your business, contact Cody Wesson on 011-892-1334. We'll also leave their details, as always, in the podcast details below. Guys, are we ready to kick off?
Yes, 100%.
Yes,
Fantastic.
100%.
Con, let's start with you. Can you just introduce yourself to the listeners? Tell them a little bit more about yourself, if you don't mind.
Okay, well, gents, I mean, you guys know me and you know what I'm about. I mean, I'm just an average guy who does what he does to make a living, but in terms of my footballing background, I'm just an avid fanatic, as you guys are. I watch every weekend religiously. You guys know that, all the games as much as I can. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, yeah, I'd like to say just well-rounded, you know.
Awesome stuff. I think we'd actually just like to start off with a last question from Logan Gunn, and he posted a question on Facebook for you. He's asking you, as a striker, okay, in football, how do you try and be most effective as a striker to score goals? Do you look for space? Do you call for the ball more? Do you come back deeper to fetch the ball? What is the keys for you as a striker?
I think it's a good question. Thanks, Logan, for that one. I think it's a good question because I think a lot of football, and not just as a striker in particular, comes down to common sense. It's not a case of always methodically being in the right position, because certain situations on the field dictate your need to do different things. So I think what's helped me the most, I would have to say, is my ability to adapt in certain situations, because not all football games are A, B, C, D, goal. You know what I'm saying? Thanks so much. That's actually good fruit for thought there, Lance. Thank you.
Yeah, it kind of puts you on the spot. I mean, when you're on the field, you know what to do, and then when someone asks you how to do it or what to do, you're like, wait a minute.
I don't know. It might sound a bit spiritual, guys, but I think you really have to be feeling it and in the moment. You know, you have to be. That game has to be your life at that moment in time. You can't be thinking of anything else.
100%.
And that becomes a second nature after that. You know.
Exactly that. It's just got to come natural to you. You got to. It's that muscle memory as well.
For sure.
Of course, we have to go to this, guys. The weekend. The football results on the weekend were. Some of them were expected. Some of them were crazy, and some of them were just Arsenal, if you want to say that. Actually, what was the standout result for you this weekend?
Obviously, the Chelsea and City game. I think I had to bring it up. Because obviously, you know, Chelsea and City, we were expecting actually Chelsea to go through, because, you know, Edison just came off being injured, and you look at the likes of Aguero, where the past 3 games he hasn't actually been performing. And look at his stats, you know, in the last 3 games, you know, like 1 or 2 goals. It's not going to help. And the thing is, now he's injured for our next few games. So City winning that game, it was a good relief, because obviously we go in a higher position now. We go to number 3. And as the league is standing now, it's a good option for City to be able to win games now, to be able to go to at least number 1 and number 2. But obviously number 1, it's going to get there, but over time,
Were you worried at one stage?
I was worried, very, very worried, because Chelsea is a very, very good team. They've got a lot of talented players, and some of our players do come from Chelsea, like De Bruyne, and players like that. But the thing is, City needed to win that game, otherwise there's no chance in the season, because Chelsea is the make it or break it point for City's turnaround in the actual season ahead.
Yeah, and Connor and I were briefly watching the game. We were looking at it in bits and pieces, and when we saw Chelsea went ahead, I'll tell you what, as Spurs fans, we were a bit upset and we were rooting hard for you guys, but when we checked the score later on, we were rather delighted.
I was outstanding. That's what I felt, you know what I mean? I just felt like a...
No better way to say it. Jay?
Mine was obviously Tottenham West Ham. It was just our first game with Jose Mourinho at the helm. I was away. I walked like almost 2 kilometers down a mountain to like a little hotel that had they had it on the big screen.
And in his current state, guys, 2Ks is super fast. So well done, Jay.
Yeah, thank you.
Boom.
Yeah, so it was well worth it. I had Long Island iced teas. I'm not one for cocktails, but boy, do those things give you a smack. So it was just a
Guys, he's lying. I bet you right now he was sipping on strawberry daiquiris, watching the game with a nice big round hat.
it was, yeah, pretty much. It was absolutely incredible. A little bit shaky at the end, but to walk away with the win.
What, you or the game?
And it was one of but yeah, 100% to, it's our first away win in a long time, like in the Premier League, which I'm so incredibly happy about.
To be exact.
Yeah, since February to be exact. We've got another keen Tottenham fan here, obviously. But it was absolutely incredible, and I was just happy. I was away, we won, had a couple of cocktails, life was great.
Con, tell us, what was your game of the weekend then?
I don't know. When I saw you send me the roster, I looked at this question with keen interest because I think if you look in terms of how the Premier League is looking in terms of the managerial climate and how the teams that are expected to be doing well are actually doing, it was a big game for many teams. So I followed quite keenly. Obviously, I'm going to say the Tottenham game was big for us.
Yeah.
The big press hype behind Jose Mourinho. It was more the Jose Mourinho versus West Ham game for me rather than Tottenham versus West Ham. Obviously, as with a manager of such a profile like Mourinho, it's always going to be big. And I mean, for me, it's just results orientated. I don't care who's at the helm. You just got to win. Just football is results. We don't like it like as much as stories on us. That's why I'd say that was one of the biggest. But then you also have to look across to another game I paid a keen interest to, which was Sheffield United versus Manchester United. And what a game it was, gentlemen. If you caught the game, you would have seen a very good game. And I was pleasantly surprised because it's almost two teams with two different fortunes at two different budgets in two different stratospheres of football. And you just see the good work that Wilder is doing at Sheffield United and the way they play for players that shouldn't be nowhere near the Premier League. And also with a manager like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being under the pressure he is at this point in time, that sort of game I don't think is I think maybe Solskjaer has 2 or 3 games left in the tank at this point, as well as Pellegrini with West Ham.
Oh, he's on his way, sure.
And I didn't even mention Arsenal Southampton briefly on that one. You look at that big result, and I mean, I'll speak unbiasedly in this moment with you guys, big results there, because that could be Emery's last game. You never know what's going to happen this week.
I hope it's not his last game, man.
Yeah,
I hope he stays much longer. He's been fantastic.
Well,
good meme material there.
On that Sheffield game, you mentioned it. They were Sheffielonia because the way they were passing the ball was mad. It was like watching Barcelona at their prime with Pep still at the reins. Exactly. The way they were moving ball, it wasn't like 2-3 touches. It was to the feet, boom. The guy already knew what he was going to do with the ball. And I think that's what caught Man United sleeping as well. I don't think teams have actually got at United like they could have. And if they go at them, they're going to expose them. In saying that, United a crazy couple of minutes. I don't know what the exact number was. It was 7 minutes, 8 minutes where they got 3 goals back. And then the next minute they're in the lead. And I'm watching this and I'm like, is this United or is this not United? They're doing a Spursy thing.
but they are good players though. That's the thing. They are capable of that, but the coaching is inadequate.
Absolutely.
Which is why I made the comparison to say you as a coach would appreciate this from Sheffield. You can see that Sheffield team is well coached.
Absolutely.
You can see well drilled, as opposed to you don't know what's going on at Carrington at this point in time.
No.
I mean, like I watch United games, and all those guys who are going to be listening out there saying that I give United stick all the time will say I'm just saying, but I'm actually saying this to say there's no method behind their play.
No,
I don't know what they're building towards when I watch them. If you know what I'm saying, and I felt like that about Tottenham. I still feel like that about Tottenham because it's too soon after Mourinho getting there. But I felt like they're just like playing football just to pass around. There's no goal on that field, if you know what I'm saying.
It's like they're not even United, but they're named United. That's the only thing.
The fans are United, not the team at the moment. I think that's a good way to look at it. And for me, my game, of course, you know it. And I actually think some of my friends must think I'm really a nasty person about Arsenal at the moment. But I have such a keen interest in my rivals. And I do watch their games a lot, so I'm not going to lie to you. And I watched that Arsenal game, and guys, if I've ever seen players playing to get a manager sacked, that is a prime example of what's happening at Arsenal. There's just
100%.
no cohesion at the moment.
It's sad.
It is sad. As much as we're Spurs fans and we want to be better than all of our rivals.
It's like kicking a dead dog.
It's terrible. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's football. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
I want Arsenal to lose, but I want them to lose in a game where they've actually played well, you know? If that makes sense to you. I want to see good football. I don't want to see one team just dominating.
You want them to be a rival, not...
Yeah.
I'm sadistic.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Southampton,
I can't lie.
goodness, they are, to me, they're the worst team in the league.
Mm.
And
They're gonna
look what
get
they did.
relegated.
It wasn't like the Saints were playing at home. Guys, they were playing away at the Emirates,
Exactly.
you know? So, I don't know so much about Arsenal at the moment.
I just want to ask like a quick question. Do you think actually Aubameyang would actually stay this year?
No chance.
If
Depends.
Emery stays, he ain't gonna stay. Why would he?
I think most of the players, the top players...
Depends who they
want
get
to
as a
leave.
coach, I would say.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because Lacazette at the moment, I think he's carrying them, man.
No, he is.
There's quite
Him
a
and Aubameyang.
scary rumour going around
What's that?
That coaches-
currently that... Because, I mean, it just so happens that there's a world-class coach who probably owns property in North London already, if you know what I'm saying.
Pochettino will not go.
Look. I also, in my heart of hearts, don't want to believe it could happen.
Exactly.
And I'm not trying to throw sticks into the works here by saying this, but like location-wise and family-wise and his setup-wise, and the fact that there is a job like that, he could take it a completely other way and say, I don't like the way you treated me with this exit, having somebody lined up
Yeah.
over the course of the 3 weeks. And then after that, just dropping him.
I just
You
don't
know what
see-
you know what I mean?
But
I'm not saying I think it would happen, but like you're
You're
putting
putting it out there, and we don't want to mingle with the universe.
No, I don't want to mingle with it. I'm just saying it's fruit for thought at this moment
It is-
in time.
it is a
You
good
know what
thought.
I'm saying?
I
'Cause
don't see it ever
I
happening.
know I'm a diehard like yourself. I understand, but like it's happened
And if
before, guys.
If it did, I would be absolutely heartbroken.
Lest we forget it's happened before, gentlemen.
Yeah, it has, but not with Pochettino. That's
Nah,
the thing. You know what? The only reason I'll disagree with you on that is Pochettino. He needs trophies now.
Yeah.
He's going to go somewhere where realistically he's got an idea that he can go and win
A top
trophies.
Spanish team.
I don't think he's going to go to Arsenal. He knows. I mean, he's a smart man. He knows the problems that are at Arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't think he would be shooting himself in the foot by going to Arsenal. He's going to be looking at maybe a different league. I'm hoping so, because I don't want to go up against the man. He's really smart, guys. I think the players just got tired of him at the moment, and I don't want to go up against him. So I think the rumours about Bayern Munich and that, I'd love it. The man's got a good chance of winning trophies there,
Yeah, he
and he
does.
deserves it.
100%.
He
Hopefully
really
he
does.
gets it before our next game. That'll be an interesting storyline.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, can you imagine?
That'll be an interesting
Man.
storyline.
That'll be hectic.
That'll be so awkward,
No.
don't you think? I would cringe my life away looking at Mourinho and Pochettino shake hands on the touchline.
No,
Oh.
no, you know what?
Straight
In
up.
fact, I'm going to put it out there. If Pochettino manages Arsenal, the next podcast, Jared will wear an Arsenal shirt.
No.
I was gonna say
Are you that confident?
Shane can
I was
wear.
gonna
Yeah,
call Shane
but
to
the
come
thing
out.
You
is-
wouldn't catch me dead. in
No,
an
there's no Arsenal
shirt.
shirt
If you
that
guys
can
are
fit me.
that in your belief that it
Your
won't
heart's
happen.
too big.
No, it's too big. Okay, guys, so let's move away from this before we start crying over Poch. We're going to touch on VAR again.
Okay.
Oh,
And it's actually a good point, because Ashton brought this up. That there's stories breaking at the moment that SAFA want to bring VAR into the PSL. Now my question is, okay, we've debated at length whether VAR works in general.
Yeah.
Is it going to work in the PSL? And discuss.
But
Okay.
for me, in all honesty, like VAR is quite an expensive thing to run. You have to hire extra referees essentially, and the equipment and the mastery behind it is also very expensive. They use it in rugby, but rugby in South Africa has a much larger viewer base, if that makes sense. Sure, like the Soweto Derby, you get thousands and thousands of people there, but I mean, like on a weekly basis.
There's like the consistency of
Yeah,
things.
so it's just like our man of the matches get like a couple gigs of data. Do you know what I mean? I'm not dissing them in any way.
Because
I mean,
data's expensive.
it is.
South
Yeah, it
Africa.
is. Data is incredibly
It's a
expensive.
commodity, bro.
But I'm just saying it. For me, it'll be there's more things that they could focus that money on within the association.
Yeah.
Agree with
And
that.
yeah, you could really pull up a lot more things using that money, because we see that even in Europe it's like a struggle to use VAR and it's not being used correctly. And yeah, in South Africa I don't believe that it would work. You know, like that's just my honest opinion. Sure, I could be wrong. Like, don't. Yeah.
Did you just say onion?
Onion. I could be onion. I could be wrong, but it's just where did I even say onion? I can't even remember now. But anyway,
We're deviating.
it's onion, my opinion.
Well saved.
Okay,
Smooth
so
one.
yeah, I don't personally. I don't think it'll work. I would like to build up to a point where we can do that, but for me personally, I believe that there's more that they could focus on. You know?
Okay. Well, spot on, actually.
Yeah,
No, I
and,
agree.
and sponsors are a lot of things, because otherwise it's going to be taking a lot of the budget.
Yeah.
And the PSL can get more sponsors in the normal.
Exactly.
We
You
need
know
to
what I
grow the PSL, and I don't think that's the right route.
Yes.
Grassroots football, pump that money in there, let's start our kids off, get them on the right track, so that we're producing more stars in European football.
Exactly. For me, academy football is more important
Oh,
than
jeez, absolutely.
offside.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. No.
Exactly.
Actually, tell us.
Well,
tell us,
obviously,
tell us.
Jay touched on the financial side, where we don't have that like high expectations of players coming to watch matches. Like you look at the FNB Stadium, being one of the most supporters, like seating and everything, where we don't actually have that attendance every single week. And now you look at all those seats not even used, not even the toilet seats are used. And the thing is, you go to like different places where it's either Wits playing or Pirates playing or Kaizer Chiefs playing. Like it would be good to see it, because it will change actually the style of play. You won't ever see those hectic offsides where you look at the other day where Pirates was versing, I think, Morocco Swallows or something, or some like other team. And the thing is, they called like 3 or 4 offsides, and I saw the coach after the game. He was fuming. Like I can't understand where, the officials are bad. And now the thing is, if we do get that educated system where the referees and linesmen and everyone else will get more and more educated in that sense, we could actually see that the PSL will get better as a league, and maybe people overseas would actually take it more seriously if we actually take it more seriously ourselves. And the thing is, to have investors like maybe from Dubai or England per se, where they could actually franchise their clubs, or they can franchise their name here, like get like Sundowns. Sundowns is obviously a big club, rich club, and even get like Pirates back on top, like with money and stuff like that, and bringing people from overseas. And the thing is, we shouldn't actually see our country as a bad country to play football or anything like that. We should actually see it as this country as itself is a developing country. Now, why not develop soccer as a whole? Now, get players from like youth teams from Brazil, or get fresher players coming in the country, not just players from Africa or players from Australia, for example. Get players where they got that experience of more dribbling, more precise, focused passing. Because like, look at our players. I watched I think it was Sundowns, and I must get the team. Sorry about the teams, but. The thing is, like, I watched Sundowns, and they got such a beautiful style of play, and it's because look at their infrastructure with
flary,
coaching,
yeah.
and their mentality is so different to our level.
Sundowns are a
lower
well-coached club.
They are,
It's
and
so
Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, but there's a gap. You know what I mean? There's always that gap where they're on top or something like that. We need all our teams to be on that level, and the thing is, some of our players, like you said in the previous podcast, where the minute they score, the minute they win, they have a different mentality, and they want to start dribbling, they want to start showing off, to bring up the crowd by scoring goals, so you can actually make it in the world, go to Club World Cup and win the Club World Cup, show Real Madrid that you actually have a better team. Now, how are we going to start? We need to start taking it seriously, and I see VAR changing the game. Sure. And I know it's bad to say that our referees, but if we train our referees, we can actually show European officials that we are actually taking this stuff seriously, and we can improve our league as a whole.
Safa, are you listening? We've got a man for your PR team right here, Ashton Lima. Connor, what's your feelings on this?
VAR, that odd thing. VAR. Ultimately, whenever a question like this is pitched, gentlemen, and we get that as a public and as a soccer-loving public, it seems to me that no matter how small the microcosm of the question is, it's always the larger question.
Yeah.
Irrespective of it just being, do we think SAF will be, it'll be a good change for SAFA within the PSL? I don't know, because in my experience, and I know it goes both ways, VAR kills the magic of the game for me. And as much as the decisions are correct and just, the reason I fell in love with football was because of the heartbreak at unjust decisions. Was because of us scoring, my team, Tottenham Hotspur, scoring goals that shouldn't have ever stood because it was offside, but the rage of the opposition fans, it created a magic. And wherever it goes, be it the PSL or the Brazilian leagues or wherever they implement it, I think that they have logistical challenges to still get over in terms of what it is in totality. Because, I mean, I understand Ashton's point. Our league will be taken more seriously because the officiating will become a lot more precise. Won't be a mess around league anymore with drastically incorrect decisions. I agree with that. But then again, the fundamental issues that are still there with VAR are still there. I mean, you see it. Who was it? It was actually the Sheffield game against Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They got the Sheffield should have had a goal. I don't understand how you can. I don't understand how you can have a toe offside. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you wanted to come into Africa, and then there's still these logistics. Can you imagine? You guys know, as honest South Africans, how much us in our country can argue, just as a people, as a populace. Imagine they introduced VAR into the populace right now in South Africa.
Yeah, it would be a major point.
It would be huge because there would be, and I'm not trying to downplay my country, you know what I'm saying? But there would be a lot of politics behind it. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, the last couple of games, as I've noticed in the PSL, there's been a lot of red cards.
Yes.
Now, that's going to be another contentious thing with VAR. How many of these off-the-ball scenarios are they going to pick up? I mean, teams are going to end up playing with 8 players on the field. It's going to be absolutely nuts. So while I agree with Ashton and while I agree with you, Con, I think I'd round it off and say what Jared said was perfect. Let's take that money and rather invest it in something better that we can reap the rewards from short term and long term. We get those 2 goals in place and work to that, because right now, is VAR going to really affect and help the South African soccer? I don't think so. It's going to help 1 or 2 decisions. Yes, spot on. But I don't think it's going to change the complexity of the league and the look of the league and the cosmetics. So,
by all means, in future, when it's a fine-tuned machine and it's working everywhere else,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because if you bring it in now, it's not a 100% accurate.
No, we haven't
There's issues all over the place, and software. It might not even have to carry on. So I mean, bringing in something that's failing.
Yeah.
Ashton knows VAR well.
Yeah.
As a City fan.
Nearly every game.
So do we.
That's what I'm saying.
My lord.
James, before we move on, can I just come clean with Ashton? As much stick as I gave you at the time over those 2 games, it felt like cheap wins. So from my side to you, just now, I'm still happy with 1.
Just talking about the Champions League last year.
Yeah. The Champions League and the league game this season. Yeah. And the league game.
Nearly every game.
It was a shallow victory, man. Yeah. Because I mean,
there was a keyword.
You can also go to Liverpool,
but just Google Pep's reaction to that, and that is exactly it epitomizes the moment completely, and that's too much. That's going to give people heart attacks in future.
But speaking on that PSL, where you said they get a lot of red cards, yesterday when they versed Pirates versus Polokwane City, there was 2 red cards.
That's what I'm talking about.
And 5 yellow cards.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
So that was very harsh. I don't know if it's a refs or it's
no, and it's not even. No, it's the players. They're ill-disciplined. It wasn't even just this game yesterday that you're talking about. That just reminded me yesterday. It's been building up for quite a while now. The discipline is so poor. It's because the showboating. I go back to that again. A guy showboating. Next challenge, he takes a guy out. It's yellow card. It's off the ball, knocks it.
I'm the same. If someone keeps showboating around me, I'm bursting.
Everyone can showboat around you.
As a football purist, it really grinds my gears.
No, it does.
Stuff. It really does.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised, but I mean, it's just the nature of the sport in our country. But there's nothing wrong with showboating is a little bit hectic, but I don't mind.
Yeah.
Skill here and there. It just shows.
I like practical skill.
Yeah, so gets you in a better position.
Put the ball in the
Shout out
back
to
of the
my
net.
man, Dele Alli.
That's skill. Put the ball in the back of the net and keep it out of yours. That's the only skill you should be practicing in football.
Not just taekwondo.
No. But you know, you're saying taekwondo, and it ties in perfectly to our next segment. So well done. This was a lovely segue there. Well done, Jay. And we are talking about the 5 most hated footballers. So now, what I want you guys to each give me a list of 5 players that you. When I say hate, I use the term loosely because we don't like to hate. That's not a nice thing. When I say hate, I mean dislike footballer. But it's easier to
Extremely.
say. Yeah, extremely
frustrating
Extremely
footballer.
yeah, so I'd like to see, we're going to each say our 5. I'd like to see if we've picked up on the same players, yeah? So let's start with you, Ashley. Give us your 5 players.
So as you said, the hated player being, you hate them, but I'm going to start off with my dislike. Sorry about my English. My players that I dislike, okay?
Onion.
Okay. Onion. Obviously, number 1 is Xhaka. I think Xhaka, his attitude, I had so many times to talk about him, but the thing is, his attitude, his gameplay, it's like, why is he playing in Arsenal, like such a top team as well? Not top now, but that mentality of Arsenal. Now you look at Xhaka. Xhaka's more of a League 3 player or even like French Division 2 player. He's not even capable to play in the Premier League, if you know what I mean. And then I get to my second player, which I still don't understand why he's in Man United. Is Ashley Young.
That's a good point.
Ashley Young, as much as the United players, fans, and everyone likes him, I don't see why you like him, because you look at him. He's outstanding with his passing, but you need to get the defending going. You need to get less fouls going. You need to get less like a player that's not even focused. You need to get him out your team. And if United wants to be there, stop playing the guy. I know I'm being too rude, but he's better to go to MLS now because he's at that phase where he's old, he's fragile, he's old in general.
He's the oldest player there, right?
Yeah.
Well, obviously they're going to need the oldest player there to sign off like on those parent guardian forms for the younger players.
He's been
Last 2
benched.
games he's been benched for. I don't know what that youngster's name is.
Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
So like Ashley Young is Ashley old. That's my point with him. And then the third player I dislike, he plays for my club. He's irritating me too much. Is Otamendi. I still don't. I know he's had a few good games.
That's a strange.
He got a team of the week. I think 2 weeks or this last week that
That
passed.
is a strange one.
But for me, look at the goals we concede every time he plays. Look at the amount of fouls. All he does for us is score headers. Why not put him in an attacking position? Because if he's a defender, he's supposed to defend. And now if Edison, he's alone at the back, and John Stones is not on form, Otamendi is there. And now Otamendi can't even do his job properly. So Otamendi, I do see him leaving in the next 2 seasons. I don't see him in my club anymore. If I was the manager or if I was the owner of the club, he would have been gone to maybe a South American club.
If only you guys had an inspirational captain that was at the club not so long ago.
He's still, it was his time, That's the only thing. Company, that's the only thing. And then my player that I actually hate, I'm sorry to say this, I don't hate anybody, but he's the guy I hate. He's the only guy I hate in this world. He's cost us maybe 2 quarterfinals in Champions League. He's cost us so many games. I don't understand. He scores more on goals, and he's a keeper. He's got more red cards than our team combined. He makes more than Edison, which I'm confused about. And his name is Claudio Bravo.
Bravo.
So that's anything. So I'm very fumed about Bravo. He's cost us a lot of games in Champions League, and he's cost us a lot of games in Premier League games, big games like you saw against Liverpool. Like, you can't always say it's about VAR as well, where I complain about VAR. But look at the saves you could have made to help us still stay in the game. And I can't just blame the defense. I can't blame the attacking for not scoring like Aguero. But Bravo's a guy that I hate.
I like Bravo.
He was so intense there when he said.
He's probably super chilled over some Bezos.
Yeah, he's probably cool.
Jeez,
Probably
you were
cool.
so
But-
rough there. Actually, wow. Okay, so those are
That's
your
only-
5.
But I get you, bro.
I think it was only 4, but yeah, those are the guys.
Once you got to Bravo, you switched off. And
Yeah,
you saw
that's-
red and you were done.
Probably
Um,
a guy called Radio Gomez.
Sure. Okay. So what I'm going to do is... All right. So, guys, my 5 names are as follows. Number 1, right at the top, has to be Joey Barton.
Shit. Sorry, I was going to do the same one.
Joey. I'll never forget that game at QPR where it was a company that he kicked.
It was,
Yeah, it was a City
no,
player
it
for
was,
sure.
I think it was Nasri.
He kicked a City player once he'd been red carded already.
Yes.
That guy is just, and then he goes to France to play in the French league, and he develops a French accent over like 2 weeks of being there. All of a sudden, he's French. And then when he comes back to England, he's got a proper Pommy accent again. I don't understand the guy. He's pure aggression.
He's like Bellerin.
He's utter nonsense. Yeah, I know.
He lunges out. He
Oh,
kicks people,
man.
He smacks them in the face.
Yeah, he's in the wrong sport. He should have just joined MMA or something like that. No, number 2, Jack Wilshere. Jack Wilshere. Jack Wilshere has to be a number 2.
That's another one of mine.
Notice how this is going to become a Spurs.
Yeah, okay, he's an Arsenal player, and he's always had little slight digs at Spurs, which I don't blame him because it's a rival thing. So Jack Wilshere has to be number 2. Number 3, Mr. JT John Terry himself.
Oh,
yeah,
I couldn't disagree.
Yeah, he's a Chelsea player. He was their club legend. Also a filthy player.
He was a nonce, but he was there nonce.
Yeah, he was smart. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Terry, I'm sorry, I have to add it to I have to add it to my list. I've got 2 more left. Oh, another centre back, Sergio Ramos.
Oh,
There is something about Sergio Ramos I've never liked from day one. And you know what the worst is? He's a damn fine player. He really is. I don't think. Yeah, I've never seen someone score so many goals playing
and he's
centre
well
back.
decorated as well.
Yeah, and he's always had great hairstyles, and he's just got everything
Good
going for him.
tattoos, yeah. He
Sorry,
also grinds
great
me.
what?
Tattoos.
Oh, okay, I was just making sure that's what you said. And then last but not least, the guy that rolls all over the floor when you touch him or blow wind at him, Neymar. I can't stand Neymar. I think I saved worst for last. I cannot stand Neymar. Everything about him is so cringe-worthy. I couldn't even care less that he's one of the most talented footballers in the world. I'm not saying best, I'm saying talented because he's got talent. But his antics on the field, his desire to make a name for himself by using money and all these big spending moves, and then he wants to go behind the club's back and move backwards. And I can't stand Neymar. I'm sorry for all the fans out there that like him, and that's up to you and it's your opinion.
And that's
But-
just your opinion as well.
Yeah, Neymar. He grinds me like Claudio Bravo does to you. Jay, hit it away, baby.
Okay, one of my least favorite players is David Luiz or David Luiz, or
What?
whatever you want to say it.
Yeah.
I really
No, I'm
dislike
joking,
him.
Sideshow Bob.
He's got a good knuckleball for a free kick, and that's about the only thing that's good
Yeah.
about it.
When he hits them.
Yeah, no, he irritates me so much. It just grinds me so much. I had the same players as you, Joey Barton. I thought he was an absolute tit. To put it politely. Who else do I really? I also didn't like Jack Wilshere. Oh, Luis Suarez. I'm sorry.
What?
The biter from Uruguay. What he did to Ghana in the 2010 World Cup.
Oh,
with
the
hands
handball.
and ball.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. He
That
is one
got
of the
deep.
most
We forget
dirty.
about that, eh?
Yeah, I know. He's one of the most dirty players ever to face the game. He's had like a quiet couple of years, but I think it's just because he's getting old and his teeth are probably falling out. So
He's not hungry for goals anymore.
yeah. I don't. Another one, I don't like Diego Costa.
Oh, yes. How do we forget Diego?
Even though
Never ages.
he single-handedly ruined Chelsea in one season, and then blamed it on everybody else, and then just chose never to come back. That was pretty cool, but I mean, it was pretty dick at the same time. Excuse my language, sorry. I'm really sorry. And who's another? I've actually got a few I could go on for hours. Who's a really winds me up.
Well, why are you thinking of who winds you up, Connor? Who's
Yeah,
your
okay.
five?
Yeah, this is a tough question, guys.
Sorry, I swore.
This is
I'm sorry.
This is a tough question, guys. And I'm sure you'll agree with me in some senses, because, and others, I'd say that I'm like very sadistic. Not many people would agree with me. I'd have to say one of the players that I really disliked, I'd say number one, not number one, they're not in any particular order. Like you don't have like number one hate. That's like catastrophic station right there. I'd say Eden Hazard, eh?
Wow.
Eden Hazard. And this is one of those ones that you might debate me on.
Is it because he was from Chelsea?
No, not even. Just like his aura and the fact that he was always so big about himself and big into himself, and the fact that he played for Chelsea and the fact that the game.
No Chelsea.
You can't
Just
polish it.
It's just one of those things, you know. Another one that you guys have completely glossed over was Theo Walcott.
Oh, that's the one, right there.
You've completely glossed over
Mr.
Theo,
2-1. Mr. 2-1.
Mr. Theo Walcott. I don't know.
Walnut.
Uncle Shane asked me to be really well behaved in terms of my words on the podcast today, guys. So hear me now, and I'll say this politely as possible. Theo Walcott
This is gonna go so bad.
really grinds my gears. I cannot stand him. Maybe Shane can link my number if you guys want my real feelings on him, because that's not that I can't say the number.
0860 Walcott lover.
Yeah, I know. and then there was another one that, and it's quite weird because I quite grew to like him, was Raheem Sterling.
No.
No, at the time you must remember.
Yeah.
From Liverpool, the player he was at Liverpool. And I remember the perception I got of him. I was like, this guy's just a traitor. Can you imagine, for instance, Harry Kane moved to Manchester City? There's a question to the Spurs boys.
I really don't mind.
No, but I would be offended.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I would be offended. I would be super offended. And
It depends on how he does it. Not like Kyle Walker.
Yeah, Carl. Oh.
Keep walking.
Okay, and then if I have to give you one more on the spot.
What about Trippier from City too?
Trippier's alright, man. He's just prone to dumb
He was
stuff.
the Spurs M&M, guys.
Yeah.
I love Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, just to think of one more. I don't know. I'd say it has to be an Arsenal player. I'm not going to throw Xhaka under the bus because, as we were speaking of earlier, like it's just sad.
Because
Mourinho
doesn't throw the bus out.
How can you hate somebody who's just so positively hopeless on a soccer field? Like it's a bit sad.
I know the feeling.
What's your feelings about the defenders for us?
I don't like Aubameyang.
Like Mustafi or Socrates?
I have no real opinions
Yeah.
because if they're not playing well, they give me no reason to hate them. It's interesting what Shane said. John Terry was good and he knew how to rile us up, and he always would put good performances. Always right place, right time, wind up the refs. Like these Arsenal players don't have that in their capacity. It's a soft underbelly. So I have to say I don't really hate that many, and it's an odd list. And it is, people are good no matter what. There's obviously ones like Suarez and all of that, but we're not going to get too deep into it.
Okay. No, that's good. Thank you, Connor. Phew. I was sweating there for a second. We're going to go through to our favorite segment of the show, Guess or Miss. We're going to quickly predict our scores. I'm going to run through them with you boys, the games, and you can just give me your score predictions. We got Monaco versus PSG. We've got Leicester versus Everton. We've got Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. And then we've got Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. Ashley, give me your scores.
Okay, for Monaco and PSG, I'm going to go for Monaco 2-1.
Okay, cool.
Then for Leicester versus Everton, I'm going to go for a cheeky... No. You know Leicester's powerful. 2-0.
Wow.
And then obviously to Leicester, yeah. Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona, I'm going to go for a draw.
Yeah.
I think maybe 1-1. It's going to be plain because the defense on one side is very good and the attack on one side is very good.
Okay.
And the keeper, obviously, Oblak is going to be the showstopper.
He's a machine.
And then with Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen, they have a lot of star talent, but they did sell a lot of them. Havertz is there. Brandt left. But I only see Havertz in that team and obviously Jonathan Tah.
Yeah.
But Bayern Munich's going to take it, and I think they're going to even thrash him 4-1.
I think Ashton was just copying my score on that game. I'm going to run through mine. Yeah, I said PSG to beat Monaco 3-1. Leicester and Everton, I think Everton are going to turn up on the day for some reason. They've been playing so terrible, but I just see it going 2-2. Atletico Madrid is going to beat Barcelona 2-1 to haunt Antoine Griezmann.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, and then Bayern is going to beat Bayer Leverkusen 4-1 with Lewandowski doing 4 goals in a game in another, like maybe 15
That's
minutes.
not even a ridiculous shout from your end. That could very possibly happen.
Yeah, Lewandowski
Did you see? I
machine.
just want to get onto yesterday. He scored 4 goals in 15 minutes.
broke a record, eh?
Yeah, in the second half as well.
That's solid.
Lewandowski, that guy's a machine, eh? Jay.
Best finisher in the world right now.
Sorry. Monaco, PSG to win 2-0. Leicester, Everton, I'm going to go for a Leicester win 2-0 as well. Remember, I am always wrong, so
bet against him.
yes. Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. I am going to go for a surprise from Atletico Madrid and Kieran Trippier to cross in the winner.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Put that in your betting papers today.
That's fine.
If you do win, please share half with me. If you don't win, it's not my problem. And Bayern Munich first by a lady who's Onion. Bayern's going to kill them, in my opinion, 3-0.
Wow. Okay,
Solid.
Con?
It's an interesting one. I would say out of the Monaco PSG game, well, just in starting, this one I'm going to go super biased. I think I've been speaking with my brain and not my heart, so I'm going to go with what I want rather than what I think is possible.
Yeah.
Monaco PSG will beat Monaco. Monaco is a spent force in France right now.
What's your scoreline?
Probably like 3-0, I'd say. I really think if PSG play the best they can and Monaco play the best they can, they're still the better team in that game, for sure, 100%. I mean, PSG has probably got the best squad in the world right now, other than maybe Juventus.
Yeah.
It's a wonder how they don't win anything big in Europe.
Yeah.
Leicester versus Everton. I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to say Everton to nick a cheeky one there.
What?
Cheeky little...
Come on, you toffees.
2-1. Cheeky little 1-0, 2-1. One of those things where nothing goes right. So Madison is frustrated, gets a red card because he keeps getting shut down.
Jeez.
Imagine this happens.
I think he's from the future.
One of those guys. You'd be surprised, guys. And you'd have to speak to me more about predictions. I'm actually quite good at predictions. No jokes. I don't know, like weird mojo feeling.
What's the lotto results?
No, okay. The thing is, once it's like, that's why I don't bet, because I feel like once I go into putting money on my predictions, the mojo will leave. So I like to do it as almost like a showpiece.
We do not promote betting on the show. Just shout out for that.
Unless a betting agency sponsors them at some stage.
Sports bet.
Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. I think I'm going to share the same sentiment as Ashton. Barcelona have been prone to being inconsistent this season. They really have been, and I'm sure Atletico have something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't they? Well, how did they do in the Champions League last?
They lost yesterday.
1-0.
It's the one game I glossed over, and I didn't really look into. Sorry,
They didn't play too bad though.
No, that's what I'm saying. The defense and the goalkeepers.
Yeah, as I say, Juventus are probably the team that are gunning the most for the Champions.
They're gonna win Champions League for me.
The old lady.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go to that. That has draw written all over it for me. It really does. Two teams cancelling each other out. Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. It's just a case of how many Lewandowski gets.
Wow. So we're looking at plenty of goals, huh?
Yeah, probably 5 or 6.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go, boys. We are into our latest segment that we've just added. It is called Ultimate 30. For those that don't know what it is, 30 seconds for our guest Connor to answer. He's got to get as many questions right in 30 seconds. And then we're going to just keep a log to see who is at the top. And right now, Chad Can is at the top with 4 questions right. So, Connor, do you think you can beat 4?
I can try my best.
Yeah, so it's like playing 30 seconds at home with the missus, but it always turns out bad. So don't play teams like that, guys. So it causes fights. Connor, Ashton is going to be asking the questions, and your time starts now.
Which club is Mourinho currently in?
Tottenham Hotspur.
Who has the most assists in Tottenham this season?
Should be Heung-min Son.
Yes. Where were Tottenham Hotspur last season? In the standings.
Wembley.
In the standings in the
in the standings we finished 4th.
Which player who transferred from Man United to Roma is called
Smalling.
There we go. Who is the top scorer in the Spanish league right now?
It is Karim Benzema.
There we go. Who won the 2006 FIFA World Cup in Italy?
Oh,
that doesn't count. There we go.
Hey, your time is up.
I read that down
picked
very
Chad. You got 5 right, which means you are officially at the top of our Ultimate 30 table. Well done, Connor.
Yeah.
So sorry, Chad, for you.
Yes.
You slipped a second. So Chad, you're still
I
in the
would have
top
had
2.
6 if it wasn't for Ashton.
In closing, boys, we would like to thank our sponsor, SSC Promotions. Whether you are looking for promotional products or just quality t-shirts, these are the guys to help you. And in fact, guys, you better go head over to their Facebook page. They are running some crazy specials at the moment. They've even got gadgets, electronics that they're selling at the moment. There's some things on there that I'm like, it's just shouting Christmas present.
Exactly. So festive season.
Come on, guys, end of November.
Jeez, you got the money. Just go and spend it wisely. SSC Promotions. We're going to drop their details on the podcast. Go and
make a special
them.
budget for them.
Oh, guys, you're not going to regret it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for an awesome night. Connor, did you enjoy yourself?
Oh, thank you so much, gentlemen. It was an honor to be on here. I love every single one of you. You guys are good friends of mine, and to just come shoot the breeze with you over what we love most. It was an honor, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I know you've been nagging to get onto it for a while. We've been so busy. We've got quite a nice list. So, guys, if you are out there and you want to get onto the show as well, please just drop us a message. Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube,
email, YouTube,
Anchor,
Twitter,
Spotify.
Anchor.
You can knock on our door.
Yeah.
And if you're listening
Not
to
mine.
this, share this podcast, guys. It's amazing. I got into it just by listening to them, and it is enthralling. If you've gotten this far, it's worth a listen. Add to Spotify, please, guys.
There we go. Thanks for the shout out there. Thank you very much, boys. Guys, have a good evening. If you're out there and you're on the roads, drive safely, take care, and peace out. Boom.
Yeah.